Hi there, I'm Janet from Utah Shutters. So today I want to talk to you about flow. And flow is critical. That's why I've got it on the first video. But before we start that, I want to tell you a couple of things. One, I want to tell you about why I'm doing the videos. And two, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So, why I'm doing the videos is if you get the shutters correct, they are lovely. But there's a few errors to kind of avoid, and that's why I want to just make sure that we aren't having that problem. Because if you do make those mistakes, they're costly and they're unfortunate and they make everybody stressed and unhappy. So that's the whole reason behind the videos. It also gives you an opportunity to get the information in an easy format without somebody, over your shoulder kind of watching you, so you can watch from your own home and kind of think about things before you actually come to order your shutters. So that's the reason for the videos. Now, a little bit about me is my background. I was an interior designer for about 25 years, and I did multi-million-dollar properties. I did hotels, about 12 of them with about 100 rooms each. So I was really quite busy, and I did the lobbies and the public areas and just had a lot to do with interior design. And with shutters are going to be a part of your interior design of your house. So some of the mistakes that I want to talk to you about will have to do with the interior design idea. Others will just be specific to the shutters and how to clean them, different things that you'll want to think about before you order shutters. So hopefully you'll find these helpful. Okay, so going back to flow. So let me kind of explain a little to you about what flow is and why it's so important. We'll get you a base and then we'll kind of build on there to how shutters are going to play into that, okay? So flow, have you ever gone into people's houses and everything just feels so fantastic and it just looks so perfect, even though maybe everything isn't perfect. Usually that's because they've got flow right. And it's a common mistake to not have it correct, and it's one of the biggest, I think, flaws with interior design. So let me explain to you a little bit about it. It's basically you're taking one feel of the house and you're actually starting from the outside and then carrying basically kind of that theme, if you will, inside the house. So let me give you a little bit of an example. This is kind of a bad example, but I think it'll help you get the idea. I had a family member that got a house, and she had quite a bit of company. It was a really large house. And I think the intention was to just make it really self-evident about which room she was talking about. And she actually had a bedroom that was pink, a bedroom that was blue, a bedroom that was green, and a bedroom that was white. And when I say green, pink, and white, and they were the paper was white, or the paper was blue, the carpet was blue, the bedspread was blue, everything was blue. So when you would walk down this hallway with a blue room over here and a pink room over there and a green room over there and then a white room, it just, it makes it really hard on your senses, It just doesn't come together correctly. But if you go to a room and or to a house, and let's say that they have a French country feel to that, and you go from room to room and they've carried that theme through, it doesn't mean necessarily that you've got to carry all of your colors from each room, but you want to have them flow so they coordinate throughout the house. So let me talk to you about how this is going to work with shutters. So if you have shutters in one window of your house, and let's say in another window you've got and let's say the shutters are white, but in the other window, you've got flowery drapes. That's not going to flow as well as if you had something else that coordinates more with that. So let me give you some options, and let me also talk to you about this as well. If you go look on the outside of the house and one window has shutters, but next to that it has a window where little Johnny wanted blue drapes with action figures, when you see that as one whole on the outside of the house, that doesn't flow so well. And if I give you this example, I think it'll really help hit home with what I'm talking about. If you're going to a wedding, let's say, and you've got a hat on and you've got a dress on, but you've got tennis shoes on, it doesn't really come together, does it? And that's what we're trying to do with flow. So let me give you some examples of how you'd handle that, okay? Because if you did, what would be the best with flow would to do shutters throughout your whole house. But the chances of that probably aren't that real. They might be, and if that's possible, and if that's what you want, it'd be a great thing to keep the flow together. But let's say you can't do that. What you maybe could do is maybe do all of the shutters in the front of your house. So let's talk about that, because let's say that might give you the situation where one room does have shutters, or one window in that room has shutters, but the other window, it doesn't have shutters. So let's talk about our options there, okay? What you could do in that other window where you didn't have the budget to afford the shutters, maybe put wooden blinds of the same color. That's going to be key, okay? So that's another possibility. So you could, the rooms that aren't matching those white shutters, we're going to try to come to as close to matching them as possible so that we keep the flow. Let's go back even to the room where little Johnny wants the action figures. Let's say at the front of the house, you've got the bay window that has these beautiful white shutters, and next to that are the action figures. But if you lined those drapes with a white lining from the front of the house, they'll look fine, right? So that's what we're going to be looking at when we're talking about flow. So think about that as you're visualizing the flow of your house. Another thing that we'll do to keep that flow going is the shutters have an option of what we call a tilt rod, which is the rod that you pull to open the shutters. With the tilt rod can either be in the center, it can be to the side, or it can be hidden. Now let's say that you're going to have shutters in more than one room, or if you're going to have more of shutters in the same room, you're going to want that tilt rod in exactly the same place. And you'll also want, if you're going to have white shutters, you're not going to want to, let's say, have stained shutters in a den or something, because you're going to want that flow. Unless maybe you change the wood around and brought some of the stain into other areas of the house. That's something kind of advanced flow or more technical, and it's something that we can discuss if you'd like when we come to possibly give you a quote if you're interested. So that's our lesson for today. Flow, hugely important. Hopefully that helped, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.